Hi guys, it's Sunday today. I went down to the car boot sale at flea market this morning, but there was nothing there really. There was a few computers i3, which is on the front of them. There were Acer, and I don't find them very interesting or very valuable for the parts, so I didn't bother. And it's warm, it's sunny. I mean, it is December, it's sunny, but it's a bit windy at the moment. There's a bit of a cold wind, and it's not really a day for the beach. So I thought, well, what else to do on a Sunday then? It's not a beach day. It's to come down here and let's have a look at some more stuff, yeah? So this is a GTX1070 that came in this batch. 750 Ti, actually. It came in this batch, it's this one. You've seen this, you've seen other videos. So 10 cards, all spares repair, some display picture on BIOS, yeah. I mean, you've looked at 3 of them so far, and none of them displayed picture on the BIOS, but all 3 are quite possibly repairable. I don't think we've got a blown GPU or RAM, yeah. So this is the 4th one, and then the 5th one we've got here is this one small GPU. The other 5 are still in the UK. I need to get them sent over here. Long story, but I'm sure you've heard it before. They got stuck there. So yeah, here we are. So this looks quite clean. That's the first thing I noticed with it. So let's have a look. We'll do the usual. There's a warranty, like a seal on this. It's been broken, so we can say this has been opened up before by somebody. That much we know. So therefore, assume it's not working. Or it wasn't working at some time and somebody's fixed it and now it's not working again, maybe. Maybe it is working, I don't know. Yeah, so this is the card. So we've got the GPU, 4 RAM chips around here. These 3 phases, I'm sure this will be the V core. There's a 12 volt 6-way connector up here. Unusual, it's normally over here, but yeah, it's here. There's another VRAM here. Which I'm assuming this is V core, all 3, and this is probably VRAM. There's what looks like a little LDO down here. I'll just zoom down like you can have a look. So this looks like a little voltage regulator to me. Not a buck converter. There's no coil. There's none on the other side. There's no coil here, but this looks like probably like an LDO, linear dropout regulator. Without looking the part number up, and I'm guessing this generates a voltage, and being sitting here could well be PEX. There's another voltage regulator, I'm pretty sure it's a voltage regulator here, and I wouldn't be surprised if that's 12 volts and then 5 volts out. If there's a 1.8 on it, I mean this could be the 1.8, I don't see anything else obvious. Let's have a quick look on the other side. We'll just disconnect the heatsink, yeah. Let's have a quick look, see if we see anything on the other side. I don't immediately see anything obvious. I suspect this is probably the BIOS, without looking at the part number. So if there's a 1.8, which I'm guessing there probably is, I don't really see where that's coming from. This is a transistor, it could be involved. Another little transistor here, but I'd expect somewhere in here to have found like a 1.8 volt supply normally. There is something missing here, but obviously I'm pretty sure that was already, not there. It wasn't intended to be there. Same here, we've got a few spare spaces here, but they don't look like they've been desoldered to me. It just looks like they were never fitted, yeah. Same here. I'm guessing this is a high side MOSFET, and that's 2 low sides, but only one's fitted. And what we got here, we got 1, 2, 3 coils and 6 MOSFETs. So I think we've probably got like 3 high side, 3 low side, and then 3 spaces for all the low sides, which are not fitted on this instance. That makes sense. Yes, that's what we have. So let's start my measuring some resistances, yeah. So we'll start off with the 12 volts and the 12 volts and 3.3, yeah, coming in. So the first 3 fingers here on this side are 12 volts. And if we go to ground and we measure the resistance from here, I'm just checking if there's any shorts. And no, it reads like 2.5 kil kilo ohms, yeah. Dropping a bit, but it's not as short. I mean, I'm just going to have some capacitor or something charging up somewhere on this, yeah. Fourth one in from this end. This is the 3.3, and that reads quite high again, yeah. Is that ohms or well, I can't see, it's not big enough. Anyway, it's quite high. This is probably a power supply, and I'm guessing we got somewhere input and output capacitors. So let's have a look what we've got here. So one side of the capacitor you expect to be connected to ground. So this has about 300 odd ohms on it, 320 ohms, yeah. And this has about, I'll just make the window a little bit bigger so probably you can see it better as well. Yeah, let's move that one. Let's grab hold of the right thing. There we go. Okay, let's have a look. Better look. So this side is just making me to go a bit nuts actually, doesn't it? There we go. 300, yeah, 324 ohms, yeah. So on over here. Similar, yeah. And the other side is a big round, I would think. Yeah. Yeah, but no shorts. That's right. Where was I? Oh yeah, looking for shorts. So we got an inductor here, and the easiest way is probably just to flick it over and go to the other side of the board, which is here, yeah. So one side will, both sides will be reading the same, yeah. 320. Oh, that's interesting. That's about the same as we got on that other little regulator, about 320 ohms here. If that's VRAM, that's a bit high in my opinion. I expect it like 120 or something, 60 to 120. I mean, there's less RAM on this, so maybe it would read lower. The other ones are, these are 12 volts coming in here, yeah. So we can just check. 11 kilo ohms, that's quite high again. That's fine. Other side will be ground. Yeah. And coils here. 8.2. 8.1. 8.0. I'm sure this is V core. It's reading 8 ohms basically, yeah, 8 ohms. On the ground. 8 ohms. So that pretty much tells us these three here are V core, yeah, about 8 ohms. This I'm thinking is probably VRAM, and it seems a bit high to me at 300 odd. And I'm wondering actually if that is connecting down to this one here as well. Let's just find the junction between the two MOSFETs and the coil. So we'll read like 300 and something. That's ground. Yeah, that one, 300 and something, yeah. So that is effectively one end of the coil, okay. Does that actually come down here? So I read about the same resistance. Yeah, it does. So whatever this is, and I'm thinking it's probably PEX, it's taking, and the reason I say why I'm thinking it's PEX, whatever voltage this is generating, if this is VRAM, this is going to be about 1.5 volts thereabouts, yeah? And it looks like that comes into here, and then going out of here would be something lower. That suggests this is going to be the 0.9 volt regulator. You can't have more coming out than going in. It's not, there's no inductor. So I'm pretty sure this is PEX, and where 1.8 is, I'm not sure. Let's look at this one. We mentioned this one. So I'm pretty sure this is just a linear regulator again, and probably the 5 volts. So if we go on this end of it, we'll probably find it goes to 12. Yes, it does go to 12. The middle one, that the high resistance, 30 odd kilo ohms. The middle pin is probably ground, yes. And then this is the output, which is probably 5. Yeah, 2K. So all the resistance are looking quite high on this. I don't see a problem. So I think what we'll do with this now is we'll power this up, yeah, and let's have a look to see what voltage we get out of it, see what it's actually doing. Okay, so we'll start by taking some voltage measurements. Just mentioned, by the way, John. Hey, John, yeah. You commented John said, Rich, you know you're going to end up shorting the GPU out against this metalwork sooner or later, don't you? And I said, I always check to make sure I'm not going to short it out. And then I said, but you know what, John, you're 100% correct. It's going to happen sooner or later. So I've taken all the masking tape and stuck it all around and down the side and under the edge, yeah. So that'll hopefully prevent that happening. And I think, John, you were right. One of these days, that was going to happen, yeah. So we're on volts. Let's start the PC and see if it comes on, yeah. And then let's see what we've got in the way of voltages on this. I'm interested first if I've got V-core and VRAM, yeah. I can't easily get to the other side of the coils, but I'm pretty confident I can find the junction of the transistors here. I'll just check where it is actually. So we'll just go to ohms range. So one end of these MOSFETs will be connected to ground. That one isn't. That's 10 ohms. Oh, okay. That there is probably the actual the V-core. Now my resistance meter, I think these leads have got a problem. It's reading a little bit high, so ground wasn't reading 0. Let's have another look. That isn't ground. That is ground. So this here, yeah, 7 ohms. So we know we've got on there, and I bet it's here as well. No. Yeah, it's on this pad as well, where the other ones haven't fitted. So that's V-core on there, yeah. VRAM is probably here actually. Yeah, 300 and something, that's probably VRAM. And then we've got input and output capacity, and we know input comes from here. So output is, I'm guessing, is these, and this is the 5 volt regulator. Okay, so let's have a look what we've got. So we'll power it up. We'll switch it on and then we'll power it up, yeah. That usually helps that. That's powered up. So let's have a quick look. So voltage. This is getting a bit warm, so I think I've got V-core. V-core 0.94. VRAM 1.6. Okay, it's an older card. This one here, what's this? Is this heat somewhere? 1 volt, that's probably PEX. This is getting quite hot now, so I'll just find something to stick on that to keep it cool. So we've got V-core, we've got VRAM, we've got 1, which is almost certainly PEX here. So we can say for certain this is 5, but let's just check it. Just for educational purposes, yeah. So I'll take my little bit of stuff and stick it on there. That'll help keep it cool a little bit. That'll just do for now. There's a bit of thermal mass. It'll take some seconds longer to before it warms up. Okay. So yeah, just interesting to see what's over here, just to see if I was right really. So again, we can start it up. We can have a look at this one. So I'm thinking this is 5 volts. 5 volts. 12 volts in. So I found everything on here apart from 1.8, which I'm guessing is probably here somewhere. But I don't think that's totally relevant. So we seem to have all the voltages on this. So let's put it in the PC and let's see. Well, in fact, let's connect a monitor. Let's connect a monitor while it's on here and let's see if we get anything out of this. See what it actually does. Okay, on monitor. Is this one of the ones that gave a picture in the BIOS, as the guy said? That's actually quite cool now. No light on the monitor, no blue light. I'll just select this input back. DVI. No, there's nothing coming out of it. It's not doing anything. Let's then put the PCI analyzer card in here. Let's see if we can actually see anything happening on that. See if that gives an idea if it's trying to boot or what it's doing. I just realised, by the way, I had the adapter connected into one of the PCIe 1 time slots or 4 times, whatever they are, but I've put it in the 16 times now, but it doesn't really matter. I don't think that would make any difference. Okay, so there's the analyzer card, which I'm sure you can see above the top of the meter. Let's just give it a little bit of more picture here. Okay, so you see it sitting there, yeah. Let's see what it does. I'm interested to see if it's actually booting or whatever. And see power on. Well, the PC is booting up. and goes to B2, which I believe is a problem detecting the graphics card. Let's have a look on B2, but I'm sure that's what B2 actually is a problem detecting the GPU. Okay, yeah, B2 basically is saying that the post is complete and it's preparing to load the operating system. Now, what I have just done, I've just put a cooling fan in. I just tried it and I'll show you why I did that. So I'm just going to disconnect the adapter, yeah? So I'm now just on the onboard video and we're going to power this up and I'll show you what actually happens, yeah? So on the analyzer, you'll see it goes to B2 and then bleeps and powers up, yeah? And I don't have the monitor connected in, but that would give me a picture on the screen, okay. So our graphics card, yeah, put the adapter back in, switch it on again. So once again, it goes through the same sequence, yeah? B2. And it now sits here, and this is why I put the fan on, because I was wondering what would happen. It sits here. Yeah? Oh, the suspense, eh? The suspense. And sooner or later, I saw it bleep, yeah? And it carries on, yeah? And I now actually just got a splash of the BIOS screen and reboot or select. So I've actually got a picture out of it, yeah? Let's have a look see if we can get into the BIOS. What I'm thinking here, and I know this is true on later GeForce type cards, possibly on this, that if the GPU's got a problem with the RAM, it can do this where it'll stick at this or it'll boot up after a long time, maybe waits 30 seconds as we just saw that do or something like that. I didn't have a stopwatch, but it felt like 30 seconds at least. It felt like a lifetime, yeah. And then it boots up. And the splash screen stayed on for an instance. I think it might have been corrupted. I think we might have a RAM fault on this, which is interesting because I'm reading what I consider to be an unusually high resistance on the VRAM. So let me get a keyboard and let's see if I can get this thing into the BIOS screen and let's see what we've got. Yes, so it is, and I thought I saw it, so you can see there. So this has some sort of VRAM problem, maybe with one of the memory modules. There's some software I think we can use to analyse this. So let's see if we can figure out which of the RAM chips, if it is only just one, that has a problem. The fact it's in certain areas of the screen makes me think it's probably one of them, but I don't know exactly. Anyway, let's have a look, see what we can figure out from that. Well, I was hoping to show you some diagnostic software called MATS, M-A-T-S, with which we could diagnose which of the memory banks is the one with the problem, if it is just one. But unfortunately, the copy I have anyway doesn't support cards as old as this one. GTX1070 Ti doesn't support it, so I can't use that to diagnose the problem, although it does look like corruption in the memory somewhere. Another thing, as I did try just before I came back onto camera, was just freezer spray and just hitting each chip in turn with freezer spray while I was in the BIOS screen to see if one of them made, you know, effectively a difference to what I was seeing on the screen. It didn't seem to do. I also tried hitting the GPU with it a little bit as well, but that also didn't seem to do it. So it appears that this has faulty RAM. I'm pretty confident of that. But as to which chip, I don't know quickly how to determine that. However, this only has 4 RAM chips on, so if they're available and they're not expensive, it might be just quicker just to change them in turn to see where the problem is, basically. So yeah, let's have a look to see which chips are actually on this and if we can actually get any of these. I don't think I've got a donor board around that will have it. I might have. We can have a look. Anyway, let's see what they are. Well, this is the memory then, so I've LP'd it W4032BABG, yeah, that's the part number. And I'm wondering if somebody actually tried to reflow these or something at some time. Not so much this one, but if you look at this one, yeah, something's gone on here that you can see. Also, it's possible that the capacitor missing there, but it's not 100% sure I can determine that if it is or not. This one, again, it looks like somebody's tried to reflow these. And again, around this one, I'm pretty sure that's what we're seeing. Maybe somebody's got some flux under, maybe somebody's removed them and replaced them even, a bit hard to tell. I've just checked the data sheet. The VRAM supply, which is about 1.6 on this board, is well within the specification of these chips. These will handle up to 2. So I suspect the actual voltage supply is correct. This, if it is a missing capacitor, I'm a bit surprised that caused all the problems. I mean, I don't know for sure. Let's have a look off interest if these chips are actually available and if they're actually quite inexpensive, yeah? Okay, I had a look. We can get these, so yeah, it could be interesting. I'll just go over to the desktop and I can show you. So there we go. So these are the chips. I mean, you can get a set of 4. It's saying €29.71 for 4, but that includes VAT, which I don't pay. I'm not required to pay VAT in the Canary Islands, so you knock 21% off that, and the postage is free shipping. So these would actually cost me $29.71 divided by 1.21. It's 21% in Spain divided by 1.21. It actually cost me €24.50 basically. So given the fact I look on eBay and these cards are worth it, this is the GDDR5 one, yeah. So they're worth about £70. I looked at ones that have actually sold and they're fetching somewhere in the region of that. So it would be worth, considering they only cost me 10 as well, and it'll make a very interesting video. I think it'd be worthwhile doing that. Another thing we can look at, if I take these 4 chips off, is this is the data sheet for the chip. This shows you the pin configuration. Now, you'll see on here in these black blocks, these pins DQ, yeah, and here on the other side as well. Okay. These are the data address lines, basically, always data lines. I think the data and address lines that go to the GPU. Yeah. What we can do, and it's worth doing, is once we've taken the chip off, or take the chips off, is to measure to ground from each of these pins, all the ones marked DQ. Yeah. And see if we see the same resistance to ground in resistance mode, not diode mode, yeah. And by doing that, that should be able to detect if the GPU has got a problem with the memory controller. So we can also do that once I get the chips off. The only thing I will do in the meantime is just see if I can find out any way to actually determine which chip has a problem, because it does very much appear like there's only one of the 4 chips here that has a problem. Maybe it's possible from the patterning on the screen. I don't know exactly, but I can find out. Interesting, by the way. Tomorrow, Monday's a bank holiday here, so 6th of December is in England we call it a bank holiday. You where you live may call it a public holiday, yeah. So Monday is a public holiday, and then Tuesday everybody's back to work, and then Wednesday's a public holiday again. So on 6th and 8th of December, both public holidays, yeah. And then we get Christmas Day's a public holiday, New Year's Day's a public holiday, and the 6th of January is a public holiday. That's their Christmas here, which is interesting actually. It's they call it King's Day, or Tres Reinos, which is like the 3 kings. I think the Christians call it Epiphany. You can probably tell me that. I'm a devout atheist, but I kind of know a bit about that. So what happens on that day here is all the like parents buy like presents for the children. That's when they get their Christmas presents, but you don't get them under a tree like they do in some countries. What happens is the parents give the presents to the arranging of the celebration. So on the day, you have like a big float comes past with the 3 kings all dressed up on there with all the presents on this big wagon, yeah. And it goes to like the town square in the evening, where all the families take the kids, and the 3 kings sit on the thrones on the back of this thing and kind of like call out the kids' names, and the kids go to the float and they give them the presents. Yeah, so Santa Claus like really does sort of exist here. Yeah, I think that's great. I like it. So anyway, lots of bank holidays coming up. So I'll be back in the workshop tomorrow and then Thursday, Friday. So I'll see how many videos I can get done this week. In the meantime, I will find out if there's any way to determine which of these chips is the faulty one, and if not, then tomorrow or Thursday when I do the next video, we'll be back on this part 2, and we're going to take these RAM chips off and we're going to see if we can determine if it's a problem with the chip or a problem with the GPU memory controller, and if it's not the GPU memory controller, then we'll order some chips. Alright guys, hope you enjoyed that. See you all soon on the next one. Ciao for now.